Hello, everyone, and welcome to another mini session. My name is Scott McGill, and today we'll be talking about jazz, guitar, improvisation. And this topic I find very interesting because it's something that some guitarists, us as guitarists, have a little difficulty with. We understand the concepts, but it's a little difficult to play, and that is pentatonic scales in jazz, and specifically playing outside using pentatonic scales. And it's interesting because keyboard players are very good at this, and I'll be basing the principles off of McCoy Tyner and John Coltrane, those great artists who are the innovators, really creators of this language. So I'm going to take a couple concepts that they have made part of our vocabulary, the jazz vocabulary, and work with those today. So hopefully this will help us get some ideas and become more adept at playing outside using pentatonic scales. First, I'm going to find the things on the guitar, and I want to start with positions that we already know, things that we already know on the guitar, and that's the 5 pentatonic scale positions. I'm going to start in B flat minor. Okay, so I'm going to use the B flat minor pentatonic. Now I'm going to play through all 5 positions. You probably know these, but let me just review anyway. Okay, I'll start with this one right here, on the A flat. So and then this one. This one. This one. And this one finally. So those are your 5 basic pentatonics, sort of base off of, the modal kind of, this sorts of thing, sort of modal changes on the B flat minor, okay? Can't resist those chords. Okay, so the next thing is to discuss what the principle is that we're going to be talking about. And through transcribing a lot of this sort of stuff, and I'm thinking of Pursuance by Coltrane on Love Supreme, some of the McCoy Tyner solo stuff specifically the trios, discs from the 70s, the things that he does with Coltrane, also Passion Dance, the classics, those sorts of things, Blues on the Corner, etc. Is that a lot of times these artists used a pentatonic scale that was a semitone below but major. So in other words, if we're looking at B flat minor, they would combine lines derived from the A major pentatonic scale intermingled with that B flat minor. Okay, so now that we have the B flat minor, and we're going to use this concept, okay, we need to find the A majors that are close. Okay, you could think of it as F sharp minor too. If you wanted to think of it as B flat minor and F sharp minor, that's okay too. As long as you get the notes, it doesn't matter. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to find the nearest A major pentatonic scales to the B flat minors we had. So if we had this, the nearest one to that would be from A major. Here's B flat minor. And then here's the A major. And here's B flat minor. A major. B flat minor. A major. B flat minor. A major and the okay, And the reason is, I think, rather ingenious. Why did they use these? I think it's ingenious because they probably, I can't speak for these gentlemen, but probably they felt like they got the third. They shared that, and all the rest of the notes were out. So in other words, if you're in B flat minor, both scales include a C sharp or a D flat. Otherwise, the other notes are all altered. Okay, so I think that's kind of the genius of it, is that there's only one note that anchors. That's the third, to keep the minor sound, I guess, and to anchor it and not make it completely unrelated, I guess, give it an anchor tone. All right. So what we need to do now is we need to find a way to intermingle the B flat minor and the A major within the same line. So without stopping, And I think a way to do that perhaps is to start in just small increments. So let's start in this position. I use a lot of those flam. Yeah. And then find identical phrases right nearby. So I went to B flat minor. Oops, sorry. And then from there, I went into A major. And then back to B flat minor. We can go back to A major. Then to B flat minor. And you can hear that it sounds like it's being combined, but not so obvious. We don't. For me, I don't like to go and then whatever, and then up in semitones like that. It sounds too obvious to me. I mean, for you it might sound okay, so include that. But for me, I'm looking to avoid those things in these exercises. So let's try the next position of the B flat minor, and then so right into A major. That's really nice and seamless. See how I went right in? I went from, so I'm in B flat minor, right into the A major here without stopping. So, okay. Next position. So B flat minor. So B flat minor, A major, B flat minor, A major, B flat minor. Okay. So the next one is here. A major is right in there. So I really like that. Here it is, slowly, if you kind of look at that. Look at that. You're in B flat minor. Oh boy, and you can just go right into that F sharp. You're right into A major. That boy, that sounds great. That just sounds really good. And then the next one, or the last one, I suppose, is right here. And then here, you're right in the A major here. So, and then B flat, and then A major. So, you can leave that A flat hanging on too. That's an easy one to pivot off of. See how it right off of that F sharp, and then you got that pivot on there, and then you're into A major very seamlessly, and then you're into the B flat. So you're back again. Sounds great. And the listener hears that it just sort of, you're in and out seamlessly. It's not like you're playing one pentatonic, it's like a box. Okay, now I'm in another box, and that's okay. But for me, I like to listen. The big lesson that I learned from those geniuses, and I'm speaking of Coltrane and Tyner, Hancock, all the Chick Corea, all these people that use this sort of language brilliantly that have given it to us, is that it seems to be, what was appealing to me was it was seamless. It didn't seem, it was like, wow, how did they get, I couldn't quite hear, as a guitarist, I couldn't hear the physical delineation. It just sort of, it just sort of melted one right into the other. It didn't sound sectionalized. And that's what I think I liked about it, what I found really appealing about it. And I think it works for the listener. It gives the listener sort of a surprise. Oh, they're back in. They're out. It's in. Oh, where's it going? Oh, it's, we're back. We're okay. Those sorts of things. So what I encourage you to do is get all of those 5 pentatonic positions, find the major pentatonic, the minor pentatonic positions, that is. Find the major one that's a semitone below, and start working with it like that. And you could do them 2 strings at a time, too. You could go... So there's B flat minor, typical rhythmic pattern that Tyner might use. Yeah, right there sounds great. Sounds like a modulation, right? From this sort of this sort of. So that was B flat, and then A, B flat, A, B flat, and you can join them with other pentatonic scales, but again, I would keep it pretty simple that in that scheme first. So up and down the neck. That's A, B flat, A, B flat, A, B flat, A, B flat, A. Okay? The little patterns help establish the big pattern, breaking it down into small chunks, making it believable phrase-wise and rhythmically. And what I found interesting about these is you can control the rhythm. And I think that's what I don't know about you folks. Maybe some of you have the same problems I do, I'm sure. But my big problem with all of this stuff was the rhythm. I knew the pentatonic scales and I could fly up and down and play. It's like, yeah, I can play these. I can play them fast. But it just sounds like it's in sections. I can't stop and start it. And what I found amazing about those gentlemen's work is they could stop and start and play tasty with it. They could play outside, and yet it sounded like phrases, real rhythms. I could get away with it fast at the time. I was like, yeah, I can blow through this stuff really fast, but I couldn't play that medium, slow tempo, ultra rhythmic stuff. Tyner is just a genius at that stuff, and that's what I was really after when kind of formulating these sorts of ideas, and they're very basic. And that's the idea, I think, is to keep it fairly simple. And one other thing that, while I'm on the topic is, as guitar players and as jazz musicians, I guess we talk about playing outside, but we usually associate it with what? Dominant chords, right? That's the place where the tension is at the dominant chord, and then we release it into the major. But with modern players, again, like Coltrane, Tyner, Woody Shaw, all of these greats, they used to play outside on major seventh chords and minor seventh chords. And I think that's a good way to use that too. Like, let's say you got the B flat minor and we got the A, pentatonic, so we, so we got all that stuff. So now, if it works for B flat minor in a modal context, it could work for G flat major, right? Because that pentatonic scale works. Like apply the pentatonic scales that work for major sevenths, and just do that. So here's a G flat major chord, right? That sort of a sound. So we know that's a fit, right? G flat major 7, those. So we play, right? So we had G flat major. Apply that to it. So now you can play outside the G flat major 7 chord nicely. Yeah. That sounds great for G flat. Great. And that's over a G flat chord. So what else can the B flat minor pentatonic play over? So that's, those are sort of the questions you ask and go, okay, well, if it fits over a G flat major 7, perhaps it fits over a B major too, right? B major 7 as a Lydian sound, right? So now you apply that to that. So it's really nice. You get a B flat major 7. It sounds really kind of out there, but cool. It works. Okay. So there it is. Over that, or over that, or over that, over the B flat minor. That sort of a thing, okay? So I hope this has helped. And again, I think it's great to break it down into the little bits. Make sure the little bits work. And that's the B flat minors, the minor pentatonic, and finding the nearest semitone down. I mean, that even right there, that sounds great. Go into the B flat minor. And it's rhythmic. Very simple, very rhythmic, and it works. You can hear it go out and then back in seamlessly. So I hope this has helped, and I hope you find it interesting and you can apply these ideas. Again, this is just scratching the surface of what can be done with pentatonic scales going inside and out in jazz application. Okay, but I think one thing really quickly in closing is on tunes when you're vamping, obviously, and you need some interest, this can be very interesting, okay? It can be very rhythmic, and it can provide interest to maybe some extended sections where you've got to play a solo, whether that's fusion or in a modal jazz context, that sort of thing. So, again, hope you found it helpful. I provide Skype guitar instruction that I've been doing for a while now. I've been interacting with some amazing players from across the globe. So I would like to have you aboard. It'd be great to have you aboard. And these are customized lessons So they're exactly based on what you want to do. And you can contact me on my Facebook page, Skype Guitar Instruction, Scott McGill, Skype Guitar Instruction, and that'll be below here on YouTube. And let me know. I'd like to be involved with your music, and I hope this has been fun and interesting for you. Talk to you soon, and thank you.